Hey, Niels. So, guys, good morning. Just kind of waiting for some folks here to kind of join, get kind of critical mass here before we get started. Again, I do have the risk disclosure up and available to everyone here, so you can kind of peruse that before we get started. And then just a reminder again, guys. Hey, Joe. Just a reminder, guys. Sergey, Frank, Buenos dias, Frank. Just a reminder, guys, to remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, or currently a subscriber. If you are interested in receiving these kind of, alerted when I do provide these kind of analysis in the future. Okay, so yeah. The other thing is also, another social media. So I do post this up on my Twitter page, and maybe soon to be added to my Instagram and others. So thank you very much for your support. That goes a long way to encouraging me to come in here and do this on a daily basis. Okay. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. I do have the risk disclosure up. I'm not going to read it word for word, but you can see here that the market trader myself is not here in any sort of investment advisory capacity, and that the information I'm providing here is to be treated as general information, right? Not as investment advice to offer, buy, sell, or recommend, endorse any security, company, instrument, or fund. Okay. We all understand that future trading contains a fair amount of risk, and it is not for every investor, and that an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. So we want to only use risk capital in the markets, right? We don't want to use capital that we otherwise need for our lifestyle. Should be used for trading. Okay. Nothing contained herein is to offer, sell, buy, sell, or futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future success. Yes, Frizu, hit the like buttons. We have like 8 folks, I think. I don't know if it includes myself here. So there's a few people. Yeah, don't hesitate. Hit the like button. If you find me on Twitter or other social media, don't be afraid to hit the like button there as well. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Now that I've gotten through the risk disclosure here, and you guys have had a chance here to kind of review it at this point, we'll go ahead and move on to the news. All right. All right. So I've gone ahead and captured. So there's quite a fair amount of news today. All right. The good thing is that most of the news that we care about has already taken place. So let's click here and make that available to everyone. All right. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. I think I'm getting some reports here that you are. So yeah. So we have non-farm payroll coming in above. All right. So that's positive. We got private non-farm payroll also coming in above. Unemployment rate still holding steady around this 4%. Okay. So yeah, a lot of news that for the market to digest here, and looks like the market has taken the news as a negative in some cases. All right, which is kind of interesting. All, for the most part, all positive news. We came in line on the rate, on the unemployment rate, and yet the market is going down. So hard to figure sometimes. Yeah, positive news. We need to sell off the market. Makes a lot of sense. That's kind of why I don't read too much into the news, other than to make sure that I'm not in the markets when the news becomes available, right? I don't want to be a part of the market because I can't anticipate how the market participants are going to react to the news, right? So I basically let the news kind of and let the market participants kind of duel it out. And then once they pick a direction, then I do my best to follow that direction. Okay. All right. Now that we got the news, now today, guys, I'm gonna do this review on Top Step X, and then we're gonna be pulling some numbers here from TradingView. But it looks like I have some issues here again with my data, and that I need to kind of sort out with my broker. So we're gonna be using Top Step X as the platform. All right. So let me go ahead and do that. So and we'll be pulling whatever information that we don't have for the market into manually. And I think honestly, kind of a good exercise. I know some of you use Top Step X as the main platform. So it'll also serve as a bit of a training, okay, to show you guys how you can do some of the same information that I have and that I use, okay. So I'm going with a little bit of a black background. I don't know, maybe it's probably a little bit more visible, makes the candles kind of stand out a little bit more. So let's go ahead and move into the gold market. All right. So this might be a little bit slower for me because obviously I'm not as comfortable with this platform. Although there's a fair amount of similarity in what Top Step X does. It's based on TradingView. Okay, so let's get started here. So I'm going to go ahead and first start with displaying a daily chart of the gold market. Okay, and I do have some things here that maybe I can benefit from here. Let's see if I can move this off the way, maybe. Okay, well, if it wants to stay there, let's stay there. All right. That's not what I wanted here to display right away. So we're in my first issue. Okay, so here we are. Gold market, we have this kind of pattern. We have a very, I don't know, maybe the result of non-farm payroll here. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a trend line here. And the first thing that I'm going to capture here is well, actually, I was going to capture initial balance, but I need to do that on a different chart here. Okay, so in any case, it seems like we remain in this kind of range, kind of price action. Let's see here. We're going to locate my little tool here to make a box. Right, we can see here that we are in this kind of box kind of pattern here, indicating that we are in range. All right, we are range price action, and we have quite a strong bearish engulfing developing in gold. Okay, which again, so sentiment is neutral, right? Neutral with maybe a little bit of a bearish kind of tone to it. Okay, neutral, right? Because in order to really be bearish, we need to see a break of structure to the downside. All right, this may or may not happen today. Okay, but maybe next week, or we continue in this range. We can stay in. There's nothing that says that we can't stay in this box range for a period of time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart. Here we are. 4-hour chart. We are in an area, again, we have two very solid candles to the downside. Now, this makes for a very natural pattern, okay? If I were to use my extension tool here, very natural right here, right? Take the top of this up here, it got to this high. Where could this go? Well, it could lead us down to this, where is it? 2278. This is using the fib extension tool. Like I said, I don't often use it, but when I do see, kind of a natural pattern, right, forming, swing wise, it's always interesting for me to see where price could lead from this. So based on this little pattern that I'm seeing, and the fact that price tends to be want to take a path of symmetry, then the path of symmetry says that we have potentially an extension, okay, in gold that could lead us down to what is it, 2374.3, or even potentially down to 2162. But the 100% extension, okay, of this swing, it takes a measure of this swing and sort of forecasts it from this point. Okay, well, that forecast tells us that we can get to 2274.3. All right, so that's something else to keep in mind. All right, 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart. Okay, this is kind of where we start to do some analysis using volume profile. And the volume profile of choice here is this fixed range volume profile. So we're going to go ahead and locate the Thursday, which is the 6th. Okay, so we're going to locate that bar right here. Okay, and drag this across to 1330 or 430 bar. So here we have the initial balance, right? Not initial balance, volume profile. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and extend some lines here. The one in particular I'm going to be, I guess, interested in is the value area low, since we are so far below value area low at the moment. I'm going to change that to blue, right? That's what I normally do. So I'm going to change that to blue. So this is value area high, right? Value area high. Okay. So again, this area here could be an area that could be potentially be resistant. All right. Now I'm going to have to manually draw my initial balance. Okay. So I'm going to go here, and my initial balance, again, also in blue, right? We have this. I'm going to use dashed lines, right? I take the high and the low, but I will need to adjust this. I will need to adjust this because I'm going to have to wait for another 30-minute bar in order to finalize this window. All right. So I have my initial balance high and my initial balance low. All right. Now the next order of business here is I do not have VWAP. Okay, there's my VWAP. Okay, and then I also need the 233-day EMA. All right, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to need to change this to 233. So, and then I'm going to make that a gold 233, and then I'll make this which, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I did, I guess. 233. Okay, and then I'm going to change this to a gold color. So this will be kind of a gold color. All right, and we'll make this. Yeah, it looks about right. Okay, so here I have my VWAP. Here's my 233-day EMA. I have my initial balance range. The only thing that remains in kind of to complete my, I guess, view of this is the ADR range. All right. So I'm going to pull that off of my other platform since, even though it's delayed data, this particular item is not something that is necessarily time sensitive, since it's something that's created as part of, Globex here. So we'll go ahead and pull these numbers off and then add them to the charts. So we're going to go ahead and turn on ADR. Okay. So kind of looking at my other charts here to see if I can pull this information. So I have ADR high here at 2411. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and And I don't know how I can represent this. Let's represent this with a red color. So I have 2411. Where is it? 2411. Is it 2411? Actually, so yeah, 24. Looks like it's 2412. 2412. 2412, right about there. Okay. And I'm going to change that to a red color, right? That's my value air. That's a ADR high. Okay. So that's resistant. And then I'm going to draw in ADR low, which appears to have already been broken at 2376.7. All right. 2376. 2376.7. 2376.7. Okay. Okay, right about there. Okay. So that is my, okay, this area here is initial balance. This is my ADR high, my ADR low. Now, in the interest of not having too many lines, okay, I'm going to go ahead and chart out what the other elements are. So we got ADR high here at what was it? What did I say? It was 2412.7, I believe. 2412.7. Right, we got ADR low at 23. Let's see, 2378.8, I guess. 23, we're going to call it 2378.8. Now, the other piece of information is settlement, and that's 2390.9. Okay. And then the only other piece of information that we need is ASR. And ASR, I have a high of 2388. 2388. And then the low of, let's say 23, looks like 2366, 2366. Okay, so here are, how I could potentially represent the information that we use. All right, so significant. 2370. Okay, did I say a V8 low of 2376.6? Okay, well, I'll go ahead and change that. Okay, there it is. Okay, all right. So yeah, this is kind of could be a way of representing the information that we use. Okay, the dashed lines in red in this case would be the ADR zones, right? ADR low, ADR high. We have the value area high here at represented in blue, and then we have the initial balance range represented in a dashed blue line. Okay, we have our EMA here, and then the only other thing that I may add here is the anchored VWAP. Okay, and I think I'm kind of inclined to do it up here since we are seeing this kind of bearish. I don't know if necessarily this is giving us any unique information here that's different. Let's see, maybe I might want to do this anchored VWAP in a slightly different style. And it's not going to let me do any other style other than standard line. Let's change the color here to a gold color here. All right, maybe gold's not a good. I don't want to confuse it with. Let's see, what color do I want to use for my ADR here? Let's go with purple. All right. Okay, so the purple line is my anchor VWAP. The blue line is the standard VWAP, and you can see here that we are well below both, right? So bears are very much in control of the market. What is Oh, yes, you're right. It is value area low. You are correct. Value area low. You are correct, Niels. All right. So yeah, so bears are very much in control of this market at the current time. Kind of looking to the left and kind of getting a feel for. We have kind of a relative, I would say, relatively wide initial balance range. Okay, which could indicate that we could potentially stay inside that range. Okay, let's move this over here to the left. We could potentially stay inside that range, right? It might be a little bit difficult for price to extend one direction or the other. You want to click on Save Layout, load layout. Where's Save? Lock. Is that what? No. Where's Save Layout? Oh, Save Layout. It's already. It looks like it automatically saved it for me. Okay. All right. So in any case, this is kind of what it would look like, I guess, for most of what I do and how I do it. The only thing that I would add here is maybe a settlement price line. Okay. So let me add that settlement price line at 2390.90.9. Okay, so up here somewhere, right around POC. So I'll go ahead and add a 2390.9. And I'm going to change that to a gold color. Okay, so that is my settlement price. Okay. All right, so I have my layout already kind of saved here. Might need to tweak this. I don't see that I have a whole lot of options with respect to change this. Maybe I'd like using dotted lines. Okay, so it allows me to do that. That's good. Okay, so and then we'll make this a little bit thicker because settlement is relatively important. Okay. All right. So this is kind of how I would represent things. Now, the question is, what are some of the hypos for gold today? Well, we've started the day quite bearish. Okay. I don't know if it was a result of the news or what have you, or someone got a word of what was going to be reported. But there's been a pretty strong sell-off. And I would say this is probably pretty sustained, right? Move to the downside. Now, when we get such a sustained move to the downside and we get a relatively big initial balance range, well, then the initial balance edges, the edges of initial balance become a good source of or a good reference level for us. Okay. Fade the top of initial balance. We fade IB high and buy IB low, right? Because the chances are we're going to have a tough time. Okay. It was China. All right. So in any case, guys, the idea here is that, we would probably be best served in, either participating and looking for an opportunity. We had looked like a little bit of opportunity here, pre-market, to kind of get in on a potential short here. But now, now that we have this initial balance range, I would say that the main hypo is to kind of, basically look to buy the IB low and sell the IB high, because I think we'll be a little bit hard. I mean, it's going to be difficult for the market to extend what the current range is. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's see. Maybe I can. All right. So this is kind of what I came up with for kind of the areas. Now, certainly, any move that breaks above initial balance would, start to make some of these items as targets, which would make for a pretty strong, move here. But I don't suspect that's going to happen today. I don't suspect that we're just going to immediately just kind of move and break and head back. But it will happen at some point. Okay. It will happen at some point. My current feel is that we'll probably stay in this kind of range for most, if not all, the day. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to crude oil. Okay. So here we are. Crude oil also it looks like it's kind of selling off here a bit. We got go ahead and start with the daily chart. Where is my day? Okay, there it is. There it is. Day. All right. Okay, here's our daily chart. Okay, so again, if I just look from left to right, nothing special here, right? Are we making higher prices or lower prices? Well, lower prices, right? We're in this kind of bearish channel to the downside, right? Just reading, no lines, no indicators, no nothing, right? I start from the left, I move to the right. Am I higher? Am I lower? Well, I'm lower, so I'm in a bearish trend. Okay. So crude oil bearish on the daily. 4 hour. What is going on? My Discord is going bananas. Okay. So we'll move off. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay. I'll take that as a yes. Okay. Awesome. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart starting to get a little bit of inkling that maybe it wants to curl up here a little bit. We are kind of, making some headway to the upside. Maybe a little bit more significant than we've had in the past. Okay. But still very much, we haven't really significantly broken any significant resistance. Okay. Here we've come up to an area 76.14. All right. That could potentially be resistant, right? What was prior support here, right? So this area right here, right, could be an area that could be resistant. Okay, this area right here. All right, it almost looks like a little bit of symmetry going on, right? Between these two areas, right? If I draw a line here, what looks to the left is kind of a mirror image of this level. Okay, so yeah, 76.67. That's another key level, right? Another key level because we do see a fair amount of rejection here, right? I would say even the 77 level to add to that. All right. That could also be an area that could be resistant on crude oil. All right. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. We, again, like I said, we're reacting off of that level that I drew. And that's basically a prior support level on the 4-hour chart. Okay, we are below some of these levels here. I'm trying to see if one of these might be an anchored VWAP. Potentially looks like it may. I'm just trying to figure out where that might be drawn. So yeah, it looks like I drew an anchored VWAP from this low here. All right. And even though we've been kind of oscillating on the standard VWAP up and below it, on the anchored VWAP from this low, we've managed to stay above it, right? We've had one test here, reacted away from it. Now we're coming back. We're getting below VWAP again, and on the daily, the standard VWAP, and my anchor VWAP is still still alive, but there's chances that it could get broken to the downside. If we do get below 75.33, that could be a potential trade that we can take to the downside and begin to explore these 74 levels below us. Okay. All right. So let's add some of these things that we care about. So let's add the exponential moving average. So EMA. All right. So let's go ahead and add the 233 here. So we're going to change this from blue to gold. We're going to change the input from 9 to 233. Okay, go ahead. So we're below the two. Oops, we're price is still above the 233. All right, so we have two things in its favor, but we have price coming into it pretty strong at the moment, right? So initial balance just opened. So we're going to start with this top here. Okay, and we're gonna change this here in a minute to blue and to a standard line. So we're going to change this standard line. I'm going to change this to a blue. All right, that's one. I'm not going to make this 4 point. That's way too thick. All right. And my top end is going to be also blue. And so we're going to change that to a blue color as well. Okay. And oops. And we're going to change that to a standard line. Okay. I don't need it to be 4 points. 2 is fair, more than enough. Change this to 2 as well. Okay, so that's kind of our initial balance range. That's beginning to be established, but we still have one more 30-minute candle to go. What's your thought on these key levels? Value. So 70.58. So these levels. Let me get to them. And we'll definitely make value area high and value area low. They're like any other level, price levels, right? I like to look at the extremes of these levels. So let's locate the value areas here on the platform. So we're going to go ahead and locate the all right, right here. Drag that across to the 430 bar, and here we are. Okay. So this we have value area high here, right, at 75.79. Okay, according to this chart, right? So we have value area high here at 75.79. Okay, and then we have value area low here at I have 74.71. Okay, 74.71 from yesterday. All right. Now, what is the significance of price getting back inside value? Well, that opens up the possibility of a value area acceptance trade. Okay, it opens up the possibility of a value area acceptance. Now, what is it? What's in its way? Well, unfortunately, we have this area of consolidation. We have the anchored VWAP. We have the 233-day EMA in the way of that view. All right. So that's why I was saying that, really we need to see if we can get price below this to really, extend that lower. Okay. So let's see where our ADR lows and ADR highs are. So we'll go ahead and pull that off of my other charts here and see. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, I'm not using my other charts because of got some sort of data issue that I need to sort out, and I didn't have time to deal with it this morning before our discussion. All right. So right now we have ADR high at let's call it 76.60. All right. ADR high is average daily range high. Okay. So 76.60. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold on, go back. I'm going to draw my initial balance, not as a solid line, but a dashed line. Okay. Dash line just to keep things a little bit straight here. Okay. All right. And then we have the EMA already established. We have this resistance zone from 4 hours. And now we're going to go ahead and draw this ADR zone, right? So my ADR high is 76.60, which is up here somewhere, right? About, okay, well, let's call it right there. Okay, this is going to be, again, a solid line. All right, so that's my value area. Not value area. Actually, they're going to make this is going to be red. Okay, and this is my ADR high, my average daily range high, and my average daily range low is 74.75. So again, similar to my value area range. Okay, so I know we have a lot of lines here. I'm trying to keep it straight on my mind as well. 74, 76. Okay, so that's, I have another line here. All right. So the solid red lines are my value area low, value area, not value, ADR low, ADR high. Okay. My value area high and value area low are the solid blue lines. My dash blue lines are my initial balance. Okay. We have this resistant line from a 4-hour. So now that we've got all this covered here, what are my hypos? Well, I already talked about one. The only thing that I guess could keep that from happening is this area right here, right? We have a 233-day EMA. We have an anchored VWAP that could cause price to reverse off away from it. Okay. Now, if we do manage to get below it, well, we have some fresh lines down here. We have ADR low and ADR. Yeah, we have ADR low and value area low as targets. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now, Legolas. All right. Let's go ahead and call these levels out. Okay. So ADR high, we said was 7660 actually. Okay. 7660. We got ADR low at 7477. Okay, we have settlement at 75.55. And then the only other piece of information that's missing here that I'm not going to draw on my charts because of all the various lines that I have is ASR. Okay, so ASR high and ASR low. So it looks like we have 74.95 to the top side. Okay, 74.95 to the top side. And then we have 73.52 to the bottom side. Okay. All right. Oh, 73.52. Oh, wow. 73. Okay. All right. So we've already talked about one bearish scenario here. Okay. We talked about one bearish scenario to maybe we have a value area acceptance play. But there is the possibility that we could come into this area right here at EMA, just like we did before, and come off of it. But I'm a little skeptical, to be honest, because we've come down here reversed and we only managed to get just above this level. Okay. Now the question is, are we going to make a higher high? Okay, here right at IB edge. Okay, and reverse away from it, or are we going to come back here? And if we come back here, chances are I feel like it might actually break below and we come down to this level, at which point maybe we have an ADR low reversal, right? ADR low or ASR low down this area. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil. All right. So right now, obviously for me, I'm going to wait and have the IB range. So the news event that we just had didn't seem to have much in the way in the impacting the range of initial balance. So chances are we will, extend one in a direction here in CL, right? It could be to the upside, right? I could see easily that we come down to EMA and reverse away from it, or the anchor VWAP and reverse away from it. The only thing that's got me a little bit suspicious is that we just came off of this level, reversed away from it, and stalled. Now we're back at that same level in a relatively short order. So it kind of leads me to believe that maybe this time around, we actually break below. Okay. And if we do break below, then these levels become retracement levels for us for a continuation trade to the downside. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Go ahead, save here. We'll move on to the NQ. Okay, do I have an NQ here? No, I don't. Let's go ahead and open this. Oh, there it is. NQ. I just didn't name it yet. Okay, so here we have the NQ. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up the daily chart, which I think we all know what's going on in the daily chart, but I will entertain us anyway. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. Click on day. All right, so here we are. No surprise. Oh, this is something from books, actually. If you guys are interested in some books of interest, those are a few books that I would highly recommend that you read if you haven't read them before. I was kind of working with another trader, and that was these were some of the books I had recommended to her. Okay, all right. So yeah, so again, similar to what we did with crude oil, we look from left to right. What direction are we headed? Okay, up instead of down. Yeah, I think that's a possibility, Jem. Okay, I mentioned some levels. I mentioned some levels to some levels that I mentioned that maybe would get down to maybe to the top of EMA. Okay, and that we potentially head higher in crude oil. That's certainly a possibility. All right, not out of the realm of possibility there. Okay, all right. So daily chart, no surprise here that we're higher. Okay. We look from left to right. What direction are we moving? Up. Okay. Now we've been kind of in this range. The news did have a, kind of a little bit of a minor impact here. Maybe the impact initially was down, which was a little bit surprising given the positive news we got on non-farm payroll. But now we have kind of wicks on both ends. So buyers looks like have at least started potentially to step into this. Up until then, we've been, as you know, in this kind of range price action, which makes it very difficult for us to trade. And we talked about that in our group coaching yesterday. Okay. So ranging to potentially down, I guess, is kind of what I'm seeing here, right? We have this kind of developing bearish engulfing candle that's going to wipe out a bunch of, whatever's here, buyers and sellers. Okay. And we could have the potential of moving down to this level. We have a lot of green pasture for the bears. Okay, not that bears eat maybe the vegetarian bears. We have a lot of green pasture down to this 18,600 level, right? Okay. Now the question is, I'm not necessarily predicting that to happen. I'm just seeing that that's a possibility because I don't see anything in its way. The first place that I could see some resistance for that potential move is this area down here at 18,600. All right. So 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Here we are. Okay, this is going to be where we start to do our analysis. Look how flat we've been. Look at the range that we've been. Now we had news driven. Okay. So this is where an example of where I would use a price event, not a news event, to support the placement of my anchored VWAP. Okay, try to get this arrow back, right? So we had a relatively large range here. Okay, large range. Right, large range here, right? Candle. This is news driven right here. Okay, now very next 30-minute candle came back inside, right? So the buyers, I don't know, maybe they read the news a little bit more deeply and says, hey, that the news was actually positive. Right? Who knows? Okay. Maybe there was a lot of pent up bears in the market. I'm not sure. Maybe they were expecting worse news than we actually received. Okay. All right. So let's look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's locate the bar here from yesterday. This bar right here. Drag that across to the 430 bar, and we haven't opened yet, but right now price is below. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw in my value area low right here. All right, this is my value area low. Okay, so that could potentially be resistant, 19,042. All right, that could be an area of resistance. All right, so let's start drawing some of the things that we care about. All right. So initial balance still not in the cards because we're about 15 minutes away from the open of the session. So we've already drawn one of the levels here. Let's go ahead and draw the next one here. This would be value area high. We don't have an initial balance range as yet because, again, the markets have not opened. Let's go ahead and locate the ADR and ADR low. So let's move this over here. And okay, 30 minutes. And we are going to open some of this up. So yeah, I'm pulling these numbers up off a different charting platform, my TradingView platform, guys. All right, so we have ADR high here at what appears to be 19,000. I'm going to call it 185. Okay, so we're going to have ADR high here at 19,185. Okay, we have ADR low at 18,942.50. 18,942.50. We have settlement at 19,060.25. Okay, we're going to go ahead and change that to ASR, and ASR is right around the same level here. 19,000. ADR is 19,207.5 high. ASR low is 18,998. Okay, so very close to a psychological level of 18,000. Okay, so rather than draw the lines for these things, guys, I'm just going to call it out like this because it gets quite busy. All right, so we have these are the zones. We have, maybe I'll go ahead and do it. We have 19,185, which is way above here. Okay, almost right about, let's see, 19,185, right about right there. Okay, that's our ADR high, and then our ADR low is down at 18,942, which is around this level here. All right, not quite. So you need to inch that up a little bit. Okay, see if I can do that without too much strength. I'm just going to keep it. So yeah, so we touched the bottom, right, of ADR, but did not quite get to the top. It's amazing how we have these news events, explore these ranges. Okay. All right. What else? What else am I missing from this chart? Well, we have the 233-day EMA. So EMA, we're going to go add that. Okay, we're going to change that to 233, and then we're going to change the style from blue to gold, and I'll just make it a little bit thicker. All right, so again, this is kind of just mimicking what I usually cover. So we're well above the EMA, again, indicating that we are still very much in the bullish market, although we've been in range of late, and we had a relatively strong bearish candle as a result of the news. Okay. Let's see. VWAP is not here as well. So let's add that. Okay, VWAP. All right, VWAP is there. We're below VWAP technically as we speak. All right. Market is yet to open. So what to make of this? Well, we had a very strong reaction to the news. Right. So the question is this area right here, value area low, going to continue to be resistant, and we have price continue lower? Or do we accept price inside value? And if so, then we explore the full range, which is a relatively small range, to be honest, because we were in range price action for most of the day yesterday. Very small range. So it's probably not going to take much to get into the range and explore the entire range, right? So waiting for that 15-minute bar that I usually tell people to wait for, well, that 15-minute bar could probably explore the range in just one full swoop. Okay, so in any case, that would be potential bullish. Now, we'll need to see what the initial balance provides us. Okay, which about 8 minutes away from that happening. But those are a couple of scenarios that I see in the NASDAQ. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this, and we're going to see. I don't believe I have ES, but I'm just going to modify it here. So ES, make it a little easy on myself. Okay, so we have the VWAP and the EMA. We just came down, touched the EMA to the downside, and now have responded away from it, but we're still technically below it. All right, fixed range volume profile. I'm going to skip, guys. I'm going to skip the daily and the 4-hour view because I don't believe it's going to give us any sort of insights. Okay, and also in the interest of time here as well. Okay. All right, let's draw this fixed range volume profile. Let's locate the right there. Okay, we're going to drag that across to the 430. There we are. Again, very small range here. Okay, top side. Okay, we have this. This is the top side of value area right here. Okay, and this is the bottom side, value area low. Where's price? Well, we're below it. Okay, initial balance is going to happen here in about 7 minutes. Okay, so as long as we could stay, if we stay below this value area, then that could provide us a reference level for us to take a short with a stop back inside initial balance. Okay, yes, please encourage folks to hit the like button if this resonates with you and you find it supports your trading. All right. So yeah, so that's a resistant level that could prove to be. We've already reacted away from settlement price, so that could lead to higher prices. The only thing I see is a lot of congestion here, right? A lot of congestion here that could cause sellers to kind of step back into this market. Honestly, if I'm a bull and if I do, enter at a good reference level, ideally, we need to get price above this level to really start to think about making some new highs here. And so I'll be anxious to see how the initial balance opens, whether we open inside value, which is potential, or we stay below value, initial balance. Then that could spell, that maybe we do get, sort of a continuation of this initial move. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and close out with the YM. All right, YM. We'll just stay with the 30-minute chart here. Okay, YM. Okay, YM. Yeah, generally, Jim, I am. Yeah, generally, I am. I usually wait for the first hour of trade. Oh, we didn't cover what? We didn't cover that, did we? Yeah, we'll come back to it, Joe. Okay, let me quickly go through kind of analysis of the Dow, but it almost seems like a replica of what I just said on the ES here. Okay, let's go ahead and draw the initial balance range. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit, with the new platform, it's taking me a little bit more time to get through this. Let's see, right about there. Okay, so this one is actually a little bit, we're kind of flirting with opening inside value. All right. Okay, we got price right now just hovering below it. Okay, just hovering below it, right at the edge here. Okay, so if we manage to close inside it, well, that could spell for, kind of a rally through this initial balance range. Relatively small though, right? It's not a very big range, but if we do get a close back inside it, we could rally through it. Okay. We are still below VWAP. We are above EMA and actually reacted away from it. Be interesting to see how this candle closes here in the next 4 minutes. If this candle closes back inside and maybe gets above VWAP, maybe we start a rally to the upside. Obviously, we need to get above value area high in order for that, to really have some legs. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and while I'm here, let's go ahead and call out these ADR high and ADR low and settlement levels for the Dow, and then we'll go back and do the same for ES. Okay, so let's change that to YM. Okay. All right. Okay, so the YM, we got ADR high here at, we're going to call it 39,160. 39,160 high. ADR low is 38,752. 38,752. Settlement is 38,955. Okay. ASR high and ASR low. We got ASR high here at 39,083. 39,083. Okay, and then ASR low at 38,743. Okay, 743. All right. All right. So those are the levels for YM. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and you guys can capture that. I'm going to go ahead and move and capture the same levels here on the ES, which I failed to do earlier. Okay. So let's go ahead and add those. All right. So we're going to go ahead and ES. Okay. So let's see. Let's start with ADR. Okay. So we have ADR high here at, let's call it 5387. Okay. So ADR high here at 5387. ADR low at looks like 53, close to 53, 3650. 53, 3650. We got settlement at 5331. 5331. Is that right? Let's see. 53. No, 5364. 5364 is settlement. And then my ASR numbers are slightly up higher. So we got 5391.50, 5391.50, and was it 5347.25, 5347.25. Okay. So that's kind of my ASR ADR levels for ES. Okay. 63. Did I write that wrong? 53. No, that's correct. 47, 5391.50, 5387. Yep, that's right. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at here. Again, guys, sorry for the little extended session today. Just kind of trying to get my work my way around the TopX platform here, Top Step X platform. Okay. Hopefully I get my my platform issues that I'm dealing with on my TradingView back and online for Monday. Okay. But hopefully I'm assuming this is will give you enough information to go with to work with for today. All right. So just want to wish everyone to basically trade well, trade safe, trade well, trade like a pro, be a market trader, guys. All right. So I'll be in the normal channels, guys. For those who are a part of that, I'll be there, and I think that is it, guys. So again, trade well, trade safe, and trade like a market pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have a good one.